What's up, people? It's July the 4th, so happy Independence Day. I'm out running some errands, or actually, well, yeah, kind of sort of running errands, just out and about. The wife's grandparent, or the wife's parents, has the baby, so the wife's doing a few things, and while we got some free time, I'm getting some things done, and thought I would toss up a video and share some stuff with you that I've been meaning to. Some of you know this, and some of you don't have a clue, I don't guess, and some of you know a little bit but don't know everything about it, so I thought I would try and fill you in. And I hope this video is okay and I'm not shaking too bad since I'm on the road here. But yeah, about a year ago, actually it's been a year ago, it was July of 2011, a few of us got together, or was just kind of tossed around the idea of starting up a brewery. It was kind of comments here and there about, wish to really start a brewery. You know how it goes. You sit around and you're drinking, and you start thinking and talking, and that's kind of what happened in our situation. It just got kind of mentioned time after time over time, and it turns out that some folks that we're really good friends with that own a winery. It's actually where my wife and I got married a couple of years ago, and they were getting really excited about the idea of having a brewery. So we talked and things just started coming together, and I never really said a whole lot about it because I didn't know where it was going, and still, well, didn't know where it was going, and there was a lot of thinking and planning and all that to do. But anyway, it got to the point to where we decided we would give it a shot. So 5 of us formed a partnership. The 2 owners of the winery, and then there's myself and 2 other guys that are brewers. So there's actually 3 of us that are brewers. We took baby steps, and the first thing I guess we did was started looking at pilot systems. And there were several options out there. We looked at the Sabco brew, the more beer systems. Seemed like there was another one or 2 that we looked at, but we ended up, or the investors ended up buying a Sabco system. So gosh, I'm trying to think when we got that thing in. I'm thinking it was, y'all know me, my memory's so bad it ain't even funny. I want to think it was April, maybe, somewhere around in there. No, April, March or April, somewhere, I don't know. Anyway, we got the Sabco in. We were doing test batches, learning the system. We were actually brewing at one of the brewers' house that lives next door to the winery, because we didn't have a brewing license yet. We weren't licensed, so you can't brew on premises, and you can brew off premises with test batches and that sort of thing, which is kind of what we were doing. I think we had maybe 3 or 4 test matches under our belt with the system, trying to learn it and everything. And on May the 19th, 17th, somewhere around in there, we actually got licensed. It took like 3.5 months for the license to go through, and it went a lot quicker than most licensing. Most people, you know, when they dealing with a TTB, you've heard horror stories of it taking forever. Well, since everything was done under the winery, an established business, you know, that already has wine, it moved a lot quicker. So after like three and a half months, we were licensed. We moved the Sabco system over to the winery and started brewing over there. And actually, we started serving beers on tap from a kegerator that I built for them. Just nothing fancy, just something to actually pour beer. I think it was the 23rd of June was that weekend, that Saturday. It was a party for the owner's birthday, and that was the first time that our beers were poured, and they were well received. There was a couple of pale ales that we had done, and the amber that I brewed quite a bit, or a couple times at home. I brewed up there. So yeah, now you know why things have been really totally crazy. I made a little video and asked some of you to go join the Facebook or like the Facebook fan page. It is Skull Camp Brewing. Skull Camp is a little small mountain back behind the winery, and you'll see that at some point when I have a chance to video. I'm going to video where we brew and the system, a little pilot system, and just give you a little tour of what we're doing right now and what's coming up. But it's just to say it's been crazy, and I mentioned this a lot, you know, in my last few videos, how crazy things were. And the three of us that are brewers, we all have full-time jobs. So, and you can imagine, you know, just in my scenario, having a regular 40-hour-a-week job, plus I've got a little side job of marketing business, online, website, you know, building and stuff like that. And plus I've got a 1-month-old son, and now throw this brewery into the mix. So yeah, it just gets kind of crazy, but just to be able to brew on a professional level is something I never ever even dreamed would happen, especially not this fast. I've been a home brewer for not quite 3 years. I've got a lot of home brews under my belt for, I guess, the time I've been in it last year, 2011. I think I brewed 125, 30, 40, 50 gallons, I think, on my own. It's not a lot, and I feel like I've got a lot to learn still, even though I have learned quite a bit. But the three of us, we all have different backgrounds. It's myself, Jim, and Kent, and they all are home brewers. There's experience with all grain, there's experience with extract, there's experience with working at breweries in this group, there's experience with the Brewers Guild and all that good stuff. So it works out really well that the three of us have come together and learning from each other the different, you know, things that we can put into the business and kind of make them all come together. So it's a crazy project. It's a fun project, and I'm only looking for big things. I don't know where it's going to go. I can't see it failing. I know a lot of small breweries fail. We don't, as far as our beers we're brewing, to be honest, we've, you know, in our meetings, we don't want to be tied down to 1 or 2 or 3 specific brews right now. We just want to, for lack of a better way of putting it, brew everything under the sun. We're just going through different styles. We're getting Oktoberfest ready for Oktoberfest. We're brewing IPAs, Kolsch, ambers, pale ales, wits, stouts, you name it, as often as we can with the equipment and space that we have at the moment. So hopefully, I don't know that I'll get to today. I do have to run up there and check on some things. I don't want to try to video if there's a crowd around or whatever, because it's just too distracting. But when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to, and I may wait and add that to this video, so it'll just all be one video. I want to show you the system and explain how it works for those of you that aren't familiar with it. It's a rim system. It's 15 and a half gallon Sankey kegs, and we use the Sabco fermenters. We're using chest freezers with temperature controls to ferment in, and 40 kegs to keg and serve in right now. They are expanding the winery to hold a brew house. We haven't quite determined what size we're going with yet for our brew house. Hopefully it will be somewhere in the neighborhood of a 7 to 10 barrel system, which will be all new for this young man, because that's going to be a whole new learning experience for me. So I'm really excited about it. I wished I had more time to put into it. I wished it was my full-time job, but that's just not possible right now. And don't know if it will be in the future. I don't know, just taking a day at a time and enjoying my hobby. That's the way I'm looking at it, because I'm looking at it as a hobby and not a job, even though it is a lot of work. Any of you that homebrew all grain, and you know the detail you have to put into it, how you have to pay attention to everything. Imagine stepping that up to the next level, to where you are putting your beers out there for hundreds and probably thousands of people to critique and taste and enjoy your beer. So with all the work and the recipe formulation and the brewing and the cleaning and sanitization and all that, it's a lot of work, man. It is a lot of work, and that's putting it lightly. But it's fun, and I'm having a blast. I hate I couldn't share more earlier, but like I say, I just was waiting for all this to come together, and I just really wanted to be able to at least get to this point, to where I could say we're at this point instead of just saying we're going to be at this point. So now that we're at a certain point, a goal that we've reached, I would say that we're actually selling our beers at the winery, then that's a successful point in my opinion, and all our opinions. So we're happy, we're excited. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to share before I cut this out. Sorry I don't get to do any Jake CPU nut videos much here lately. I actually did get to brew last Saturday. I brewed a 10-gallon batch of a black IPA that I'm really excited about. Actually, I brewed it up here, and we're kind of doing our own thing. Like I say, there's 3 of us brewing, and we'll kind of just come up with our own recipes, and we have our day that we brew. And for instance, if I'm brewing that day, then one of the other guys are helping me and doing like the legwork, the cleaning, and then it might be the other brewer doing that the next time, and me doing that, or cellar work or whatever, filling kegging beer, cleaning equipment, doing whatever. So it's working out really well. It's been a learning process, and figuring out this and that and the other. But anyway, yeah, I did get to brew 10 gallons last week, last Saturday. So it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's 4 days fermenting, and I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping to get another 5 or 10 gallon batch going, because right now I'm without an IPA on tap at my house, and that just don't happen. It's probably the first time since I could not tell you when that I've not had an IPA on tap, and it sucks. I don't like it, but it's all for a good cause, so I'm not going to complain too much. But anyway, I hope I can add on to the end of this video. It might make for a long video, or after it all gets videoed, I may break it up into 2 parts or something. I don't know, so you won't have to sit for so long and watch it. But hopefully it'll be interesting enough where it won't bore you to death. But I'm hoping I can show you very soon what we're brewing on, where we're brewing, and what we're planning on doing. So if that's not on this video, at the end of it, after this right here, just look for it coming up. Questions, comments, throw them out there. I think my last couple videos I haven't even had time to go back and respond to the comments I've had, so I apologize for that. I do appreciate all the emails, Facebook messages, private messages on YouTube, and all that good stuff, as always. I appreciate you coming by the channel. People are still getting comments and private messages from videos I've done way back, you know, about different things. So I do appreciate that, and it makes me feel good that I'm able to help people in different ways, whether it's brewing techniques or recipes or things I've figured out or help, you know, that I've found other people do and share through my channel. But I'm gonna shut up and get up here and do a few things. And again, I appreciate it. And questions, comments, lay them on later. Okay, so hopefully you will be able to see this. Just gonna go through it real quick. Some of you are probably familiar with these systems, and some of you may not be. It's kind of dark in here, but you should be able to see it. But here we go with the Skull Camp Brewing pilot system. Like I say, it's the Sabco system with the V350 controller. Nice little touch screen. I'm not got it plugged in, so you won't be able to see, but you can run the pumps, turn your burners on and off. Actually, your heat for your rims tube on and off, and it'll tell you if you need to turn the burner gas on. I'll show you that in a minute. It's got a nice little graph. You can set your temps for your mash, monitor all that, download it to your computer if you want, and all that good stuff. But yeah, so a nice little sweet setup with a really nice stand. I know you recognize the kegs, but these are Sabco kegs. It's a really nice piece of equipment. This setup is hot liquor tank, mash tun, boil kettle. Basically the way it's set up, you've got a sight glass here that's not here right now. Temp gauge here that's not here right now. This is the output of the hot liquor tank. Everything gets tri-clamps, and if you've never used tri-clamps before, you're missing out. They're the greatest thing in the world. Basically, I've mentioned this. I've been talking to main brew guy back and forth about kind of how Sabco recommends. They recommend doing a real coarse crush like .060, filling up your hot liquor tank, opening up this valve and let it flow. You'll see it all comes together right here for the output of the hot liquor tank down to here, and also the output of the mash tun comes down to here, and they all come together here. This has a false bottom in it, which is in it right now. Shouldn't be because everything's been cleaned and put up, but basically they recommend you filling up the hot liquor tank, open up the valve here, comes down to here, open up this valve and let it backfeed until it gets about an inch over the false bottom. Then they recommend dumping in your grain, then turning on the pump. Everything will get sent through these lines here. The pump and the rims tube is inside here. It'll come back through the pump. This is what controls your pump flow, and it goes back up this line and comes in here for your recirc. And then they recommend just pumping in, filling it up past the grain bed, letting it soak and settle, then firing up your burner. It's got 3 different burners, one for each unit. Fire up this burner with really low heat and get your start recirculating, get your temps up to mash temp. So basically you're going to whatever your temperature of your well water is or whatever you put in there, and then just go from there. And like I say, we don't do it that way. To save time, we fill up the hot liquor tank and then we pump over to the mash tun the amount of water we'll need for our strike water. And then we'll start heating that up. Sorry, it's hot in here. We'll start heating that up to our strike temps. And I like to recirculate. You got your temp probe right here, your thermal well. That gives you your readout over to the control panel for what your temperature is. I recirculate until my mash temps gets up to whatever they are, usually 160, in the 160s somewhere. And when I get up to temp, I've already filled this back up and it's already heating up for my sparge water. We'll heat it up to like 200 degrees so it's ready when the mash is done. So when this is up to the strike temps, I turn the pump and the heat off, dough in, stir it up, get it all good and saturated, let it settle for like 3 or 4 minutes sometimes, and then hit the pump and start recirculating. And it'll take, at that time you've closed this valve to stop. You know, you've closed this after
you've pumped everything over, this stays closed. Hope this is making sense. I'm kind of rushing through this. But yeah, when you start recirculating, you've got this open that's coming out here, down through here. It's reading your temperature here, going over through the pump, through the rims tube, back up, and recirculating the mash. And it's always a good clear mash. If you're doing your 60 or 90 minute mash, we stop twice through the mash and stir just for good temperature, or not for, just to mix up the grain good. I'm funny about that. They recommend not doing that, but we do it. I'm getting good efficiency, no astringency, so I'm going to stick with it. After your mash is done, you've got your strike water heated up. You open this valve. Your strike water will start coming in to the pump. You close this valve, which stops your recirculation for your mash, and then you open this valve to start draining into your boil kettle, and that keeps all the lines primed if you do it in that sequence. Now you don't have any caveats or anything going on in your pump. And again, your flow is restricted right here for your fly sparge. So you're draining into your boil kettle from your mash tun out, and then you're coming out of your hot liquor tank through the pump, through this valve, through the pump, and back up through this input to fly sparge. And I didn't show you this, but on the inside of the mash tun, the outlet's right here, and it's like a piece of 1/2 inch silicone hose, maybe 3 foot, that comes out, and you just wrap it around and lay it on top of the grain bed, and it works real well. We kind of looked at doing more of a traditional fly sparge arm or something like that, but this works fine. One thing I have noticed, where you control your recirc through this valve right here, you have to have this open pretty good for your temps to stay up during your mash. I have noticed that. If you cut this back too much and restrict your flow, your mash temps won't stay consistent. But if you get this thing dialed in right, those mash temps will stay right on, spot on, 152, 154, 150, whatever you got on. So yeah, after this bad boy gets up to about right here, we'll go ahead and fire up this burner on the boil kettle. And I usually fly sparge at like, I think it's 4 gallons a minute, quarter gallon every minute. So yeah, somewhere around in there. 1/4 gallon every minute, so a gallon every 4 minutes. Usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour to, I usually do 13.5 gallon boil volume. By the time we cool, boil off rate, and everything's said and done, ferment, we're getting our 10 gallons. So 13.5 gallons is usually right on money for the pre-boil. And yeah, man, it's a rocking system. It does really well. Just had to learn it and know what it would and wouldn't do. I'll show you the Chill Wizard. It's got the Blickman therminator on it and a pump. And basically when you get done with your boil, if I can get my configuration right here, you'll come out of the boil kettle into the pump. Pump goes through the plate chiller. You've got your cold water inlet right here, actually right here. Your cold water goes in right here and out right here, and then your wort goes through the pump, through the plate chiller. You got oxygen coming in right here, and it gets oxygen through there, and then it comes through here, and you read your temps right here, go into your fermenter. And we're usually coming out at boiling, and right here you'll see about 72 degrees. So this thing works really well. And as long, I know I've talked to you about this too, main brew guy, with this plate chiller, with the false bottom in the boil kettle, we're not straining our hops, we're not using hot bags or anything. As long as you back flush that plate chiller with some good cleaner and hot water after you use it, sanitize it. The next time it's done fine, it's not stopped up on us, it flows good. It takes about, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe to transfer the final boil volume, which is usually 12 gallons, 11.5 to 12 gallons to the fermenter. So everything's enclosed. It comes right out of that Chill Wizard, and here's a fermenter that I just got through emptying. and I'm soaking it. Right into here you got this arm, and it's connected directly to this, so there's no oxygen getting into it. It comes in, this has got a arm that goes in and over this way, so basically if you turn this down out here, that arm goes up in there. So when you get ready to transfer your beer off of this into corny kegs, that's really handy because you can put your hose on here, and when you're transferring out, you'll put this lid up here that's got 2 ports, and one, you know, when you're fermenting, you can use it as a blow off. When you get it ready to transfer, you just put CO2 and push it in. That way everything stays closed. We got a connector that goes from here to the corny kegs. It all stays closed. Just turn the CO2 up a little bit, open the valves up, and turn this thing up until you start seeing a little bit of sediment come out your hose, and just turn it back down, and you got nice clear beer. So there's the clamps and the lid for that. It sits on top of here. Really nice setup. Like I say, really pleased with it. It does a good job. A lot of work, a lot of cleaning. Seems like cleanup's always the sucky part, but yeah, here's the winery. I'll just give you a quick glance at where we brew. We don't brew in here. Right now we're brewing out here on the crush pad, and I'm gonna step out here and show you that. This door is usually open on brew day. And there's like 20 guys out there taking a lunch break, so they're doing an expansion, and maybe later on I can show you where we brew and what all that looks like. And we've got a killer view out there of the vineyards and the mountains and all that good stuff, so I don't know if I'll get to tack out on this video there. All the guys that's doing the expansion over here, they're all taking a break back there, so I don't want to mess with them. But anyway, there you go, folks. Brew Magic by Sabco. Hopefully that'll turn into a 7 or 10 barrel system here in about less than a year, I hope. We'll see, but I know I went through that quick. I hope you understood it, and I hope I wasn't fumbling around too much, and I hope you can see this in this dim light. But if you got any questions or anything, just lay them on me. It's a cool setup. I really like it. Show you one last thing back here. Well, I'm not going to open it because we're trying to keep it cool back here, but that's the barrel room for the winery where all the wine barrels are kept, and we've got our chest freezers and all of our equipment and cornies and everything back there, so it's nothing really to see other than chest freezers and stuff. But all right, if I don't get the video of the outside, you won't see it. If you do, you'll see it now. But appreciate it. Questions, comments, lay them on. Okay, I really couldn't leave without at least showing you the view that we have when we brew, so I get ready to leave, and I thought I'd just step over here to this side and not bother the guys out here on Crush Pad. But you can see our view, and that mountain right there that you're looking at is Skull Camp Mountain, hence the name Skull Camp Brewery. And you can see how beautiful the winery is out here. There's the Crush Pad where the guys are taking a break, and that's where we brew. So we have a nice little Blue Ridge mountain range. Well, these not the Blue Ridge, but back there is the Blue Ridge Mountains, and then we got these little smaller mountains. And I don't know if you can see it on this video, but way out there at the gazebo is where Misty and I got married a couple of years ago. So it's a beautiful place. Have a lot of activities going on up here at different times. So there's the vineyard and the crush pad, and on the other side of the building over there you'll see there's the house, the winery house. Folks that own the winery live there, and you can rent that if you want to come up here and stay. But on the other side of the building here is where they're doing the expansion. So I'll just give you a quick shot of that. Got a lot of vehicles parked up here, that people doing wine tastings and actually drinking some of the beer. Actually the Frozen Toes is on tap, folks. Can you believe that? It's kind of humbling that a recipe I've made over and over again is selling commercially. So anyway, there you can see, I'm not going to walk around the other side, but that's where they're adding on to the Round Peak Vineyards to the other side over there. That goes all the way down the side of the building, and try to get a little bit of a shot of it here. I think we're still debating on the going to be 3 different sections in that expansion all down through there. But it's going to be another tasting room with open windows that you can view all the mountains I just showed you. And there'll be a section for a meeting room, like a little conference and a storage area, and then overflow for the barrel room, and then the brewery will be over there. So yeah, crazy things going on, a lot happening. So I'm going to get to the house and enjoy a cookout with the family for the 4th. I hope you all, if you don't see this video today, if I can get home and get it edited and uploaded, I may get it on up. But if I get it up, hope you have a good 4th, and if I don't, I hope you had a good 4th. So later.